All right, joining me now on Inside TBT, recurring guest Ryan Mikesell. Welcome back to the show.
Man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks. I'm glad we could set it back up and run it back again.
Absolutely. You were either guest number one, definitely episode number one. So it's always great to get you back on the show. Super important question to start things off. Do you know where your Inside TBT shirt currently is?
Yes, it is currently at my parents' house in my childhood bedroom, I believe. I'm pretty sure I left it there with like my other TBT gear. So pretty
Is
sure
it
that's where it is.
is it hanging on the wall?
Yeah, it's hanging on the wall. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It's actually nailed up. I think my parents might have it in a frame right now, actually. So should
Perfect.
be
So
nice.
I'll sign it and then it could be framed and signed. But all
Yeah.
jokes aside, we gave that to you in Dayton last year, and TBT is coming back to Dayton. You're fired up. I know you are. Would love you just to talk a little bit about how great it was in front of the Dayton fans last year.
No, man, it's awesome. Last year was an amazing experience. Just being back in front of those fans, seeing some familiar faces in the stands. Getting the team. Currently, those guys were there supporting us. Some of my older teammates, they were there supporting us in the crowd. Obviously, we were playing all together on the court again, so it was an amazing experience, and I'm super excited to run it back. I think if we can return and keep a lot of the same pieces we had last year, I think we have a good chance to kind of make some noise again. So super excited to get back there.
You had an unbelievable pro season last year, which fed
Mm,
into a great TBT from you.
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your season this year?
Yeah. My season last year, I was playing in Germany, which is a completely different style of play than where I'm at now in France. I'd say in France it's a little more up and down, a lot of athleticism and whatnot. It's been good so far. It's a good experience for me to get here and play in this style of play. Obviously we've faced Victor Wembanyama, which has kind of been the talk of the basketball world here for the last six, really pretty much a year. And just to see him up close, you hear a lot about him. And then once you play against them, we played against him 4 times this year already. And he's just, as advertised. So it's been a good experience to play against this amazing talent overseas. And I think, building off this season, it'll make me in a pretty good rhythm going into the TBT.
Have you hit any big threes this year? Because in TBT, I swear the crowd is the loudest at UD Arena with Red Scare when you hit a big three. Have you hit
Yeah.
any, sound barrier breaking threes this season for your team?
I don't know about sound barrier breaking, but I've definitely hit some big ones. Some to kind of close the game. Whether it's late in the game or if we're going on a big run. Kind of like a dagger three. I've hit a couple, and our fans, they get excited. You can kind of hear every time I kind of let it fly. You can kind of hear the and when I make it, it's a good feeling. When I miss it, you kind of get the oh. But that's part of it. That's part of being a shooter.
The best is when you, or really any great shooter, is on a run. Like
Yeah,
maybe you hit two in a row or you hit one big one and the ball gets, swung back to you and
yeah,
you hear the crowd kind of like, oh, is he going to shoot? Is he going to shoot it?
yeah,
That, in my opinion, that's the coolest thing when like crowds are anticipating your next shot going up.
yeah.
I think a lot of times the biggest reaction comes from when someone hits a three to push the lead from like 1 to 4 with a few
Yeah.
seconds left, like kind of sealing the game.
Feeling the game for sure. Yeah, I
Where
would
do
agree
you,
with that. I
I
would
was
agree
going to
with that.
say, what do you feel is like the biggest momentum 3-pointer you could possibly make?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, obviously, you can give the game winner, but I would say honestly, like, yeah, it's a close game. It's a one possession game. You got the ball. They need a stop, and if you can hit that three to kind of close the game, make it a 2 possession game with a couple seconds left. That I think that's kind of the icing on the cake for me.
Would you
Yeah.
would you feel more comfortable going to the free throw line down 2 with 3 free throws or one shot attempt down 2 from 3? Both scenarios you're down two. You got to make 3 free throws to win or hit the 3 to win.
Hit the three. I would say just for a dramatic effect, I would say probably. I think just something about hitting that shot like at the end of the game. You're at the free throw line. There's kind of a lot of suspense building up. So it's just you kind of just wait. I don't know. For me, I think it'd probably be a game-winning three at the buzzer. I think that would be kind of the icing on the cake for me. I think that's probably in front of the 3 free throws.
Well, hopefully you hit some Elam endings this summer back at UD Arena. Let's talk, briefly some TBT. Last year, the team Red Scare added Scoochie, which was monumental for you guys and for TBT in general. Who that hasn't played with you in TBT yet from Dayton would you want to add?
Man, I mean, there's so many good players that play overseas. I played 1 year with Deshaun Pierre, who's currently playing in Fenerbahce. He's a EuroLeague player. I would love to play with him, obviously. Chris Johnson, who's having a great year in Israel. Yeah, I know he's been overseas for a while. He's obviously a good Dayton alum who had some NBA experience. Jalen Crutcher, obviously. I don't think we're ever going to get Obi Toppin, but Jalen Crutcher would be a nice addition to our team. There's just so many guys that I've had relationships with, that I've played with, that I would love to play again. But those are some names off the top of my head that I think would be great additions for us.
So you guys played some notable players and teams last year. You played Jimmer, which had to be pretty cool, and then you beat the Golden Eagles, who had won 2 years prior, and then
that was a little revenge game for us. They got us in the Final Four.
Exactly. And then you got to play Best Virginia, which was super cool. 2, big college basketball programs, and then also 2 dominant TBT programs facing off. First question from those matchups: Were you starstruck by Jimmer at all? Was there any matchup that you were like, all right, this is very cool during TBT last year?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, obviously the whole Jimmer mania was like, that was, I think, right in high school or middle school. So like watching the tournament, I remember, in study hall, we'd sneak to, my mom was a teacher, we'd sneak off to her room so I could watch the games. And I remember, some of those big shots that he would hit in those big games. And so, yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't think I was really starstruck when I was on the court. I'm kind of able to really lock in, but I think, after the game, I was kind of joking around with my brother because, being the white guy on the court, I get ISO'd a lot. And I think Jimmer, like first time I was guarding him, he tried to ISO me. I think he did it like 2 or 3 times in the game. He never scored on me. So I kind of, was talking trash to my brother because I'm like, man, I really just like guarded Jimmer out there. Like that's pretty cool. Obviously, he's an amazing player. He's had an amazing impact on the game. Everybody knows him. So, that was pretty special to play against him. Especially having such an influence on the game. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Can Red Scare win TBT, and why?
Yeah, I think we definitely can. We've been there so many times. I've been to the Final Four twice. So I think, we kind of know what it takes. It's just a matter of making that extra push, knowing that, you got to keep the game. You got to be, what's the word? You got to be just straightforward in these games. You can't really mess around because when you get to that Elam ending, you can't just wait for the time to run out. Like you really have to continue to score and get stops. So I think if we can keep that in mind, use our experience that we've had, with some of these guys and that good chemistry that we had from last season, we can translate it into some more wins and hopefully we can, take home that money at the end.
Last question. If you were at Dayton right now, who would you want an NIL deal with?
I was Mikesell's potato chips, probably. Do you know Mikesell's potato chips?
Roughly, but give me the
roughly. Yeah, so it's like it's a big potato chip company. Growing up, it's in the tri-state area, Dayton, Columbus, Cincinnati area. It's like a big potato chip company in that area. So like for me, I was always, everybody was always asking me like, are you related? Is that, does your grandpa own that and stuff like that? And sometimes I joke around with them, but in all reality, I think that would have been pretty cool to have like an NIL deal with them and just to set something up.
I think that would have happened instantly. Like that might have been the first NIL deal in the country.
For sure. My brother actually, as soon as we saw like the whole NIL stuff pass, he actually like sent me that. He's like, man, you would have been a platter for you. Like you would have had something set up immediately. But it is what it is.
All right, you know how this ends. Any questions for me before I get you out of here?
No, man. No, I think we're good. I think we're good.
All right. Well, Ryan Mikesell just claimed that Red Scare's going to win TBT this year, so that's exciting. He put it out there into the world.
Yeah, word for word. That's exactly what I said, huh?
Coming back to Dayton. See everybody soon. It's almost TBT time. You can kind of taste it. Once March Madness ends, it's like, all right, which of these kids are going to go play TBT? You can feel it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see kind of the whole field and see, which players play, which players kind of sit out, and just see how it all shapes out. I'm really excited.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, man.
Clocking out early, that's the dish I don't like. Been getting paid since I was riding on the bike. Hit the pedal with the 8th, hopping on the 9th flight. I've been chilling out of sight, I'll be at the bar tonight. Told the bartender, go and take my card to swipe. You try the same thing, but your card get declined. White rappers nowadays, no, we're not too hard to find. I'm so dapper with my ways, I'm gonna linger in your mind. Always told me good things will come to those who are patient, but I've been way too patient, writing bars in my basement. I'm anxious in the real world, it's time for me to say this. The basics, the talent in my mind, I can't waste it. My life is too safe, it's my time for risk taking. I'm baking my mind every day, it's the same ish. Lazy, my grind needs to get a new facelift. Coming from the underground and busting through the pavement. Rock with it and lean with it. My team winning, my team winning. No, rock with it and lean with it. My team turn up when I spit it. Now rock with it and lean with it. My team winning, my team winning. Now rock with it and lean with it. My team turn up when I spit it. Don't think that I'm playing because I'm saving the game, and I said that I will be more because oh yeah, that is so raving, racing and pacing around all these lanes in my lane, out my way, unless you're trying to pay me. Not from the playpen, it's coming from the jungle. When you hear the bell, you better be ready to rumble, because I'ma grab the gloves and I'm gonna flex my muscles. Go ahead and spit some bars, but you're probably just gonna mumble. A lot of rappers these days really need to get them humble, cause they think they at the top, they better stop before they stumble. Cause I'm swiping all their biddies while they swiping right on Bumble. And your girlie calls me daddy, but she only calls you uncle. But no, we not related, homie, no, we not some fam. You never get in clubs, you can't even get in Sam.